Hello, everybody. Give us just a couple of seconds before we get going here. We're going to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to jump on into the session. Thanks for joining us here. We'll be back with you in a second. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here for another Eureka webinar. We're so excited that you decided to spend a couple of minutes with us here today. For those of you who this is your very first time joining us, we're excited to have you. This is a webinar series. This one is what we're calling Demo Candy. But really what we're doing is we're showing people different ways that you can use Eureka and Salesforce together to solve really interesting challenges. So we welcome you. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here today. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Pat Dennis. I'm a solution engineer for Eureka. So my job here at this organization is to help people understand how Eureka works, answer technical questions, give them product demonstrations, help people understand the different problems that Eureka can solve on Salesforce across a variety of different industries. So again, that's a little bit about who I am and who we are. The agenda today is pretty simple, straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to take just a couple of minutes. I'm going to introduce you to Eureka. For those of you who have never seen it before or understand what it is that we do, you'll have an opportunity to see what it is and get a brief understanding of what it's designed to do. We're also going to spend a little bit of time going through a product demonstration. So you're going to see an example of how Eureka can work. And today, the demo is going to be all around health, safety, and environment. So some people call that HS&E or HSE, but we're going to pretend as though we are somebody who's, let's call it an OSHA or external audit, internal audit, compliance, regulatory. All these are good examples, or even an organization that just has its own audit function for the purposes of safety, health and safety. So we're going to pretend as though we're a person that's going to go out and fill out some information in the field and capture an audit. So, and then after the product demonstration, we've got some resources for you, either if you're a Salesforce SE or if you're a Salesforce AE, or even if you're a Salesforce customer that would like to learn more, we've got some things that we want to share with you at the end. So for those of you who have never heard of Eureka or don't understand what it is that we do, here's a little bit about us. We are, at the core, we are a Salesforce native mobile forms application. So what that means is we are built and designed to basically allow people who go out in the field to capture complicated information, to fill out forms, whether it's audits, inspections, checklists, assessments. These are all different words that we hear. We are on the Salesforce App Exchange, and we've been around for about 6 years. And we are experiencing tremendous growth. We're one of the most top performing ISV partners in the Salesforce ecosystem. So that's a little bit about Eureka. And again, really what we're designed to do is allow people who have built their business on Salesforce, who are using Salesforce to manage a lot of their operations, to be able to send people out into the field, use a mobile application, use the Eureka mobile application to be able to see different forms and checklists, be able to fill out information while they're on the go, even perhaps offline. And you'll see an example of that here today. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you straight into a demo org. We're going to spend a few minutes just showing you how Eureka can look. So I'm going to share my screen here. And as I do that, what you're going to see, we're going to pull up my Salesforce demo environment. So on the screen here, we've got an example Salesforce org. And we've kept it really simple for today's demo. So in this situation, what we've got is a series of objects. And this one that we've built for the demo today is just an audit object. Maybe this helps us understand the different audits that we need to do for some of our customers. So in this case, I've got 4 different audits. And if I click into one of them, what we'll notice is that there's just some basic information about the audit here. We can see we're going to go out and do a workplace safety audit, maybe at a job site or a construction site for this customer. And we've got the status of these different audits here at the top. And then most importantly, as far as Eureka is concerned, over on the right-hand side, we've got some information about the forms that we're going to fill out while we're on site. So today we've got 2 forms that have been created for us on our visit. We've got a work at heights. So we're going to go fill out a form that helps us understand how people are doing with scaffolding, ladders, falling objects, things of that nature. And then we've got a different form as well that we need to fill out. So that just kind of tees you up and shows you what we've got inside of Salesforce. Now let's flip the script. Let's go over to my mobile device. So what you see on the screen right now is my iPad, which is just being emulated on the computer screen here. And what we've got is the Eureka Mobile App pulled up. The Eureka Mobile App works on iOS and Android devices. So users will be able to download it, or you can push it to them if you have an MDM solution. And when they log in, the first thing that they see is a list of things that they need to do. So in today's situation, in today's demo, we've got a list of audits that I need to complete while I'm on site. So here I've got this first one, Reeves Industries. We can see where we're going. We can see the kind of audit that it is. I could even tap out to Google Maps or Apple Maps here, and that will allow me to get turn-by-turn directions. But the moment that I tap on that audit, let's say I arrive on site, I'm ready to go, I can go ahead and click check in. This is going to capture latitude, longitude. It's going to capture date and time so that we've got a running audit trail of our interactions as we are out in the field and where we are, and to make sure that we are where we say we should be. So after we check in, the next place that we see here is a list of the different forms that I need to fill out while I'm doing my work. And you'll notice these are the same forms that were in Salesforce a moment ago, right? We've got that advanced safety audit, and we've got that work at heights inspection that we're going to do. So for here, what I'm going to do is just tap on that work at heights audit. And right off the bat, what we see is this is the full form. This is the entire form that we need to fill out while we're on site today. And just to give you some context, give you a comparison, a lot of our customers typically, when they come over to Eureka, they're coming from a place of PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, pen and paper, where they're filling out their inspections there. And the beauty about Eureka is that this is now a digitized form, it's a structured form that we're going to fill out, and all that information is going to get seamlessly synced back to Salesforce. So with that said, let me go through the inspection form here and show you a few things about what we've got going on. So the first thing is it's pre-populated with information. Every Eureka form can be linked to the different records in your Salesforce environment. So any custom or standard object will allow us, we can latch on to those records and then pull in information into the forms. So that way the person that's doing the inspection can really hit the ground running without having to start over from scratch. The next thing as we go here, you'll notice that as users interact with the form, they see that the form will change. It's dynamic. There's branching logic associated with each of these questions. So what happens is as soon as you start to go through and fill out information, it's going to guide the user through a process. It's going to show them what to do next. And this is really great if you've got a dozen folks out in the field, but it's absolutely essential if you have thousands of people out in the field. You're giving them a form that can actually guide them through a process, show them the right information at the right time. So here, let's say that maybe we want to scan an equipment tag. We'll use our barcode scanner to go ahead and fill out the equipment tag or the equipment ID. And then right off the bat, we'll just start scanning and filling out information. And you'll notice that the form just continues to ask new questions as I fill things out. We can even provide folks with good context, good guidance, good instructions. So here, maybe if the question is, are all the guardrails sturdy and completely assembled? If the answer was yes or no, maybe right afterwards we'll show, some important bullet points that they should be considering as they're inspecting this scaffolding. Again, the whole idea here is to make it really easy for people to fill out the right kind of information, but more importantly, to be guided through a process, to ask the right questions, to really execute at their best while they're in the field doing this work. We are also able to capture photos here. So if I want to take a picture of some of the scaffolding that I see here, I can go ahead and just snap a photo right here in line with my form. And the moment that I do that, I can click in, I can mark it up, I can take notes if I want to, all right here in the form. Again, to give you some context, we see a lot of folks before they come over to Eureka, they bring digital cameras out to a job site and they have to take photos, and then they have to somehow download those photos later and append them to their paperwork. That all goes away. All these photos, all the data here is completely consolidated and seamlessly synced to Salesforce when we're done. So we'll start to fill out, how wide is the area with scaffolding. We'll say that it's this piece of scaffolding is 20 feet by, we'll say 30 feet. So there's a rough square footage, the footprint of the scaffolding. And then we just kind of finish up our form here. It's really easy to kind of go through and just answer all the questions. And then to keep things short, we'll finish out by filling in this final section here. And we'll just say, is there any other information about this audit here that you want to capture? And we'll say something like, everything seemed to be okay. I have some concerns though about the scaffolding. We'll grab a quick signature to indicate, we were here, we agree with everything that we just captured. We'll change the status of the audit to in review, and then we'll indicate that we want to send this form as a copy to our customer, maybe as a PDF. And so the moment that we submit this information, if you're online, it's going to go back to Salesforce. It's going to sync back with the Salesforce environment seamlessly. But in this situation, it actually turns out that our user was offline. They didn't have access to internet connectivity, but that's okay because Eureka's mobile application and our forms allow you to fill out all this information regardless of whether or not you're connected. So let's pretend like you're in a rural area or you are in a parking garage or just somewhere that doesn't have internet. You can still interact with all the forms, the branching logic, the photo capture, the barcode scanning, all these capabilities still work even if you don't have access to the internet. But when we come back online, Eureka will sync all that information seamlessly back to Salesforce. And then the user can kind of continue on with their day. Now, at the moment that I sync it, what's going to happen, I'm going to flip back over here into my Salesforce environment and just refresh my page. And you'll see some incredible things have happened, right? So the moment that I refresh, we'll notice that Eureka has made some really interesting changes to our record here. Number one is that our status has now been adjusted to in review. Some of the comments that we left while we were in the field have been mapped over to this field here on our audit record. We even generated an outcome, like maybe that this audit failed, or maybe we created a score because of the way that people filled out certain questions in the form. This is the way that we can take the form, and then the moment that it syncs back to Salesforce, we're firing off Process Builder, we're firing off Flow, we're doing workflow rules, Apex, all sorts of automation, business process automation can be triggered as a result of the form hitting the system. And then the other thing as well is if I take you over to the right-hand side here, you'll notice that the forms that are filled out when we're on site are available for us here in Salesforce. So you'll see that Work at Heights audit that we just filled out, it's now been submitted. And if I click in, I get to see a bunch of really interesting information about our audit today. So I can actually see the entire form. Every data point that we captured is now available for us here in Salesforce. This is amazing because we didn't have to manually upload a file. We didn't have to manually rekey information in. We didn't have to upload an Excel document. All of this information is seamlessly available for us here in Salesforce. That even includes the photos that are captured as well. So it's a game changer for organizations that want to be able to have this information immediately in a system for business process, for data analysis, things of that nature. It's all available for us here. But what's more is that this form is actually smart. It tells us information about our audit. So for example, maybe it highlights that we're violating a certain code of federal regulation. Maybe it suggests that our personnel need training because of the way that they filled out the form. We can tell these forms to highlight certain things that will help us understand at a glance how this audit went, if there's important things that we need to take away from the inspection that we did. We're also including image recognition and sentiment analysis as well. This is artificial intelligence powered by Einstein. We're plugging right into those capabilities here too. We're even proposing next best actions over here. So if there's a certain violation, maybe we need to follow up with somebody, or maybe we want to schedule that training right here from this page. Again, these are ways to say, to show somebody a form, to show them an audit, have them go out into the field, fill out the forms for that inspection or for that audit, and immediately as the data comes back, power some incredible business processes right here in a single user interface. So this is just an example of how some of those forms can really power your business. The other thing I want to make sure to share here is that these forms, they're built really, it's very easy to construct them. So right here inside of Salesforce, we're actually able to use the Eureka form builder to drag and drop these forms together. What we're talking about here is that you can manage these forms. Let's say, for example, I want to add a question, and I'll say something like, how many people were on site when you completed the inspection? And we can configure the different kind of question types. There's a lot of different question types that are supported here. It's very, very easy and intuitive to build these forms out. And the lesson for everybody watching this is that it doesn't require you to know how to write custom code. It doesn't require you to be a system administrator. It doesn't even require you to know how to build Salesforce processes necessarily. This is for business users who need to manage the forms for their field workers. You can do it all right here inside of Salesforce. You can drag and drop things together, and the moment that you're finished and ready, you can save and publish these forms and make them available for the folks out in the field. So it's really that easy and flexible to be able to design new forms, really quick, drag and drop them together and make them available for the folks out in the field. So again, the end-to-end is really, we can build forms easily. We can make them available for people out in the field. We can give folks an inspection or an audit to go out and do, and they can fill out those forms online seamlessly. And when they come back online, or when they come back into a spot where Eureka can sync, all the data comes back into Salesforce, powers reports, dashboards, business automation, things of that nature. So that's a little bit of an A to Z demonstration, a simple demonstration of how we could take Eureka and solve a health, safety, and environment use case. We have many other use cases in a lot of other industries that we serve, and there's plenty of videos out there that can show you those different use cases as well. But one thing I always like to do as I wrap up these demos is I like to share with you some of the features that you saw today as part of this demonstration. So on the left-hand side, you've got features that aren't specific to Eureka. They're instead just some things that I built in Salesforce. So what's important to know is that today we were using a Salesforce platform license, but Eureka can work on Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Field Service, Salesforce Maps, Communities. There's a lot of different license types that Salesforce can operate on, and every license type has its own unique use cases that it can solve for, and Eureka can sit on any of those. And then, of course, at the bottom of that list, you've got some really interesting things like Einstein Next Best Action. Yeah, we can plug Eureka's information into Einstein Analytics or Tableau to make it really easy for people to consume and analyze the information that's being collected in the forms. And then, of course, all the powerful business process automation tools like Process Builder, Flow, Apex Triggers, things of that nature. So those are the things on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, you've got some of the things that you saw with Eureka. So what Eureka does is it takes all that Salesforce capability and extends it into to the people who are out in the field, giving them the ability to fill out these dynamic and complex checklists and forms, perhaps offline on their mobile device, guiding them through a process, showing them the next step in their procedure, making it really easy for them to understand what they need to do next. We also talked about things like barcode scanning and discoveries and insights that the forms can give us. So there's a lot of really incredible technology here that we're giving folks who are out in the field who have to do a job or an assignment or an inspection or audit. So if that kind of wraps up the demonstration for today. If what you saw today was interesting, or you suspect that it might be able to help solve a problem or a challenge that your business is currently facing, and you'd like to learn more, we've got so many resources on our website that we would love to share with you. We've got things like our Eureka website at eureka.io. We also have an extensive video library with a lot of different video content on our YouTube channel, so you can always visit us on YouTube, and many other resources that you can see here on the screen, which we'll provide links to down next to this video. So feel free to dig into those if you'd like to learn more about Eureka. But for now, that will conclude today's webinar. Again, we thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes to learn a thing or two about how Eureka can solve this specific use case and learn how it can extend your Salesforce environment. So my name is Pat Dennis. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.